Hello, BookTube, from a hot, humid Tuesday here in Boston, where I've got a bit of mail to show you. We've got a periodical, and then an envelope, and then a small box, and then a huge box. So there's a good deal of variety here. The periodical is the Martha's Vineyard Gazette, this broadsheet style newspaper from the island of Martha's Vineyard off the coast of Massachusetts. I have the honor to be their book reviewer. I'm not in this issue, but the issue is delightful. The full color black and white photos are always just amazing. They're just amazingly detailed. And the editorial section in the middle, even when there's no book review by yours truly, is usually good. Like, for instance, there's an anonymous op-ed here called Season Turning that could be written at basically any year. Fall tiptoed in last week like a teenager who'd stayed out too late and didn't want to wake the household. After a summer of changeable weather, chilly rain in July, sweltering heat in August, oceans roughed up by frequent offshore storms, when September finally arrived, it was like a warm hug from an old friend. Ah, September, islanders said to one another as they went about their daily lives. Golden days cast long, late-day shadows across lawns and farm fields, richly green from so much late summer rain. Swamp maples, always the first to turn colors on the vineyard, have taken on a subtle russet hue. Any day now they will turn bright scarlet. Goldenrod and tiny wild asters are ubiquitous. Derby fishermen dot the shorelines. Children are back in school. Traffic has noticeably lightened. Now, suddenly, here comes October, and just like that, summer has turned to autumn. And there's a lovely little illustration here of Canada geese over dune grass. And the Canada geese come up again in the Vineyard Gardener in the back of the Gazette. The Vineyard Gardener is their most popular feature, I would be willing to bet. And in it, the writer of the Vineyard Gardener notices that she has recently passed tilled farmland and seen that it was covered in Canada geese, in what she refers to as our original gleaners, just working the rows, picking up anything. There's a huge amount of food that gets left behind, that gets foraged at night by mice and voles and skunks, but also that gets foraged during the day by Canada geese. And the author of the Vineyard Gardener wonders if Chappaquiddick and all parts on the island are as far south as these particular Canada geese go, since she notices them year-round. I thought this was really interesting. It flung me back on my own memories of all the time that I spent on the vineyard. I don't recall a season when I couldn't spot a Canada geese somewhere on the island. I don't recall there ever being a time when they were completely absent, even in the heart of winter. But a delightful issue, whether I have a review in it or not. And then we have mail. Now, the big box at the end of this, I know where it comes from. But these other two are from publishers. So I guess I know where they come from too, but I don't know what they are. Actually, I don't know what the big box is either. So what is this first one? This is from the folks at FSG. And this is Lewis Gordon's book, Fear of Black Consciousness. A wide-ranging philosophical exploration of race consciousness in the tradition of W.E.B. Du Bois, Frantz Fanon, that has received some extraordinary early praise from Angela Davis, Robin Kelly, Judith Butler, Catherine McKinnon, and Hortense Spillers. Lewis Gordon's writings on black existentialism and anti-blackness have been hugely influential among academics and activists over the last 30 years. One of the most remarkable things about Fear of Black Consciousness, Gordon's first book written for a general readership, is the vividness and immediacy he brings to fundamental philosophical questions about race that remain little explored among the public at large, a talent that has made him a popular professor at the University of Connecticut. I wonder how much of this draws on his classroom experience. Drawing on colonial history, politics, current events, linguistics, and cultural flashpoints like the media controversy surrounding Rachel Dolezal, pop culture from blues music to Jordan Peele's Get Out, and personal history from his own harrowing experience with COVID-19 to his personal awakening into black consciousness as a kid moving to the Bronx from Jamaica. Gordon explores different types of invisibility, what it means to have a white consciousness, or black consciousness, how and why these categories for seeing the world were created, and the global challenges that they have brought black consciousness as an awareness of marginalization into a new black consciousness that demands dignity, freedom, and historical agency. Okay, so do we have a date on this? Okay, this comes out in mid-January, so I don't have to think about it for reviewing purposes in this year. I'm not thinking about 2022 books in 2021, so I'll just wait. Later on down the line, I will get a finished copy of that. Then we do the smaller of the two boxes, which will doubtless have only one thing in it. Let's see what that thing is. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. One book, a finished copy. By Martin Williams. This comes out today. And this is When the Sahara Was Green, How Our Greatest Desert Came to Be. The Sahara is the largest hot desert in the world, equal in size to China or the United States. Yet, this arid expanse was once a verdant, pleasant land, fed by rivers and lakes. The Sahara sustained abundant plant and animal life, such as Nile perch, turtles, crocodiles, and hippos, and attracted prehistoric hunters and herders. What transformed this land of lakes into a sea of sands? In this book, renowned geomorphologist, I did not know that was a profession, a geomorphologist, Martin Williams, describes the remarkable history of Earth's greatest desert, including why its climate changed, the impact this had on human populations, and how he and his scientist colleagues uncovered the evidence for these extraordinary events. After tracing this surprising ecological history, Williams makes the case for applying the lessons of Sahara's changing climate and many ways that people in the area adapted to our responses to the current global climate crisis. Interesting. Okay, so this is, it has the Sahara as end papers printed right on the book. And it also has illustrations. Oh, hello, baby. You wouldn't like the Sahara at all. Not at all. Not only because it's hot, but because it's so unruly. Hey, baby, what you doing? Hi, baby bee. Where's your baby? I never know when she's going to be affectionate. Sometimes not, sometimes yes. But at least you get to see her when we're here instead of in the little book room. Here we have Afar woman filling goatskin bags from a shallow well dug in a dry floor of Lake Liadu in Ethiopia. Fascinating. Just fascinating. And I guarantee you, I'm not spotting it right in this picture. All I can see in this picture are emaciated camels and some emaciated children. But I guarantee you, somewhere in that gathering are little village pie dogs, who are my people, who answer to me. Okay, fantastic. So who is our geomorphologist? He's a professor emeritus and adjunct professor of earth sciences at the University of Adelaide. He's written a lot of books, and he lives in South Australia. Okay, fantastic. Well, this comes out today, so I have all the occasion in the world to read it. I'll read it tonight. I have been to the Sahara many, many times. I have spent a great deal of... What's the matter, baby? Huh? What's the matter? Do you want to get down on the ground? Is that it? What's he doing, baby? Huh? How's the baby? Do you want to get down? Is that why? There you go. She's a little bit down-spirited because it's been misting and raining for the last 2 days, and that bothers her. Even if we're not out in it. We've been pretty lucky in our outings so that we've avoided getting drenched. But even so, even if we're lucky, she's just not happy philosophically with the existence of rain. Maybe she would like the Sahara. But I will never be there again. I will never see the Sahara again. But I have been deep, deep, deep inside the Sahara. I know its ways. Well, I've been there. Luckily, I was there with people who knew it really well, who knew how to survive. It's going to bring back memories. And some of them will be melancholy. Of course, things like this will always be melancholy because I will never be back. And that's a weird feeling. It's something you have to slowly come to terms with. But one of the aspects of this that I will, I'm sure, find most interesting will be the author's reconstruction of what the Sahara used to be like. That'll be a lot of fun. And then we have this big box, which doubtless has more than one book in it. So let's tear this open. Let's see what we have. This comes from Bill Rutenberg, who sends it all the way from the cesspit of sin and decadence that is small town Iowa. So what have we got here? Oh, it's a ton of books. Do you want to come back up here? Well, you are an awful capricious little baby. Come here. Come on. There you go. You gonna make up your mind, baby? It looks like it's a box full of romance from Iowa. So, it is. It's a ton of Harlequin romances. It came from Bill Rutenberg, but it's going to be of most interest to Sarah, the bookish knitter. It's a ton of Harlequin romances. Fantastic. So we have The Italian Billionaire's New Year Bride by Scarlett Wilson. What else have we got here? We have The Prince's Fake Fiancé by Leah Ashton. Oh, baby, you want to get down again? Oh, she doesn't get all the way down. She wants to get down just to sit next to me. I wonder if that means that her window seat might be a little chilly. That's usually what it means. Because sitting next to me is very much not chilly. It is a very, very warm experience. Is why all my dogs have loved it, even when they didn't like cuddling. Anyway, let's keep going here. Tempted by Her Greek Tycoon by Katrina Cudmore. You notice these Harlequin romances they all have the photo covers now. They're all of a very of a similar make here. Then let's see here. United by Their Royal Baby by Therese Behari. Oh, fantastic. I can't believe this. How generous this was. The Spanish Millionaire's Runaway Bride by Susan Meyer. She's not running away there. I bet he owns that vineyard. Let's see here. Falling for His Convenient Queen. Again, by Therese Behari. Haven't read her. So it'll be a first for me. Baby Surprise for the Spanish Billionaire by Jessica Gilmore. These millionaires and billionaires are always being surprised by their babies. Beauty and Her Boss by Jennifer Fay. What's this next one? Baby in His In-Tray by Michelle Douglas. He's very busy. He's got a full in-tray, but one of the things in that in-tray is a baby. Stranded with Her Greek Tycoon by Candy Shepard, Candy with a K. Probably said that in her life a million times. It's Candy with a K. Swept Away by the Enigmatic Tycoon by Rosanna Battigelli. Doesn't look particularly enigmatic, but at least he's not a desert chic. Rescuing the Royal Runaway Bride by Allie Blake. These are going to provide so much fun, so much entertainment. Tempted by The Billionaire Next Door, again, by Therese Behari. So this is an author I'm going to become very familiar with. She has quite a few, and we're not done. We're only 2/3 done here. Amber and the Rogue Prince by Allie Blake. The Rogue Prince needs to meet with a rogue shaving razor. The £1 Million Marriage Deal by Michelle Douglas. We've come up with that name before. Conveniently Wed to the Prince by Nina Milne. These are all in this bright Valentine's Day pink. Reunited with Her Italian Billionaire by Nina Singh. There they are on board a vessel. Probably there's a crew to take care of them. A Contract, a Wedding, a Wife by Christy McKellen. That is typically how it works. Otherwise, the lawyers get involved. Let's see here. What is this next one? Unlocking the Millionaire's Heart by Bella Buchanan. And finally, the last one. Marooned with the Millionaire by Nina Milne. So don't we have weren't we marooned already? Stranded with her Greek, and marooned with her millionaire. I bet the Greeks probably fairly well off as well. So we have a gigantic stack of Harlequin romances. That is so incredible. Bill, if you're watching, I can't thank you enough. You've hit the nail on the head here. Uh, Look at all of these things conveniently wed to the prince. Fantastic. Well, the only uh-oh, are we falling? Oh God, we're falling. The only thing that's missing here is an event to go along with these. I'll have to get to work on Sahara. We've come up with an idea for an epic romance event. The one thing that's largely missing, there are all kinds of romance events, but they're in the romance booktube world. And we've come up with an idea for an epic romance event to spill out into the mainstream booktube world. We just haven't done it. That's all. And that would be great. But I'm not going to wait, of course. Instead, I'm going to dig right into these things, especially since, no fault of Sarah's, after all, she is not employed by Harlequin Romance, the company. She should be, but she's not. If she were, I have a feeling that she would be their only employee. She would be the face of Harlequin, the voice of Harlequin. She would be known on Facebook as Mrs. Harlequin. She would be known on Instagram and Twitter, and customers would just go to her for all sorts of problems. It would be a great way for Harlequin to make themselves more friendly to their customers, because they've got a ways to go in that regard. These things will hit the spot, especially because my plan to buy 2 or 3 new Harlequins every month has been scuppered by how crappy the website is. The website is just awful. And I want to use the website because the Harlequin selection at the only retail store in Boston that actually sells them does not include the Harlequin historicals, which are typically my favorites. I've tried that website as a guest for a while, and it kept telling me your order has not been recorded. And I thought, okay, well, do I order it again and double my payout? And half the time the orders would come, half the times they wouldn't. And so I decided, all right, well, clearly maybe this is just a strategy on the part of Harlequin to get you to become a site member. In other words, to add your information to the site, you get a discount on the books, and maybe that's why. Maybe they make it that easier to do than buying books as a guest. So I made a profile on the site. Didn't help at all. It didn't help in the slightest. In fact, not only did I keep getting that message, unable to complete your order, even though my order was completed, but once I became a member, then the site started being one of those, I'm sure you know the type of site where they're just arms crossed petulant 5-year-olds where, no, that's not your password. No, I don't think so. No, here, make another one. Oh, I don't really like the way you made that. I'll send you a verification code to a phone you haven't had since 2013. I wrestled with the site probably for an hour, getting more and more angry. And then I thought, wait a minute. I'm wrestling with your website in order to pay you money? That's not how capitalism works. I will leave your website if you don't make it easy for me to pay you money. So I did. And as a result, a lot of new Harlequins that I would like to read, I'm just going to wait. Maybe they'll show up in my bookstore. Maybe they won't. But the website needs some tweaking. Maybe it's just as well that Sarah is not the face of Harlequin, or she'd be getting tedious complaints like this all day long. I'll email her about it, see if maybe there's a way around it. But I don't expect her to do miracles when Harlequin isn't even paying her dental insurance. But anyway, that's our mail haul for today. There's no way to do a Steve pyramid because I've got 20 Harlequin romances. But the 2 books that we got that weren't, one is for 2022, so that's off the radar, and one, they're the opposite ends of the spectrum here. One is for today, so I will read this tonight and report back. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up the mail for today and dive into my bright pink Harlequin romances. But I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.